In this video, we'll be looking at articles. A, an, and the are what we call articles. A and an are indefinite articles. The is called the definite article. We use the indefinite article for singular countable nouns. We use them the first time we talk about a person or a thing. An assassin bug kills other insects and wears their dead bodies as armor. When you say what a person or a thing is, this is an assassin bug. When you say what a person does, for example, their profession or their hobby. She's a banzai skydiver. In banzai skydiving, skydivers throw their parachute out of their plane first and wait 2 seconds before jumping out after it. In this case, banzai skydiving is her hobby. In exclamations with what? What an exciting sport! When we don't know which one something is, when something is not specific, or when it's one of many. A can of Diet Coke floats in water, but a can of regular Coke sinks. In this case, any can of Diet Coke will float, and any can of regular Coke will sink, so it's not specific. Fixed phrases such as once a week, 60 kilometers an hour, a few, a couple. Because these are not specific, once a week is every week, not any specific week. 60 kilometers an hour is every hour, not any specific hour. A few is any few. It doesn't matter which ones. The same goes for a couple. Eating a few pieces of dark chocolate a day can be good for your body. Eating any pieces of dark chocolate can be good for you. There aren't any specific pieces, for example, the pieces in the top row of the block or the pieces in the left column of the block. Also, eating a few pieces a day means every day, not any specific days. We use the definite article when we talk about something we mentioned earlier. There is a swing in Ecuador. The swing has no safety measures and hangs from an old tree house. So if you ever try this swing, make sure you hold on tight. The first time we talked about the swing, we used an indefinite article. But the second time we talked about it, we used the definite article. When something is unique and there's only one of it. The Hawaiian alphabet has only 12 letters, A, E, I, O, U, H, K, L, M, N, P, W. So there is only one Hawaiian alphabet. When the person or thing you're referring to is clear and obvious. In Australia, only 2% of the population lives within the yellow area. It's obvious the population we're talking about is the Australian population. So not the American population, not the world population, just the Australian population. It's also obvious what the yellow area is. It's the yellow area on the map. A job title that only one person can have. Jose Mujica was the president of Uruguay. There is only one president of Uruguay. We also use the definite article with superlatives because there's only one person or thing that is the most or the least something. He was the poorest president in the world. He donated 90% of his salary to charities every month. Fixed phrases. At the top, on the right, in the south, in the east, at the beginning, at the end, in the center, in the middle, on the coast, on the border, in the world, the next, the other. Because there is only one of these. For example, there is only one top. There is only one right. There is only one center. There is only one border. There is only one world, etc. There is an underwater waterfall on the coast of Mauritius. It is located in the south of the island. So we've looked at using indefinite and definite articles. Now let's look at when we don't use any articles. So we don't use articles when we're talking about things in general. Dolphins can only sleep with half their brain. The other half must stay awake to prevent themselves from drowning. In this sentence, we're talking about all dolphins in general. Compare this with a dolphin can only swim with half its brain. In this sentence, we're not talking about a specific dolphin. Instead, we're talking about any dolphin. So this has the same effect as talking about dolphins in general. The dolphins in the Amazon River are pink. In this sentence, we use the definite article because we're talking about a specific group of dolphins that live in the Amazon River. We don't use articles with some nouns. For example, at home, at work, at school, at university, at church, in bed, to bed, in hospital, in prison, on holiday, after prepositions such as at, in, on, to, from. Norway allows students from around the world to study at any public university in their country for free. This is the world's most annoying alarm clock. If you don't get out of bed in time, it runs away and hides from you. Before meals. You should never skip breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. Time phrases. Some time phrases use the definite article. Parts of the day. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. But we say at night, at lunchtime, with no articles. Dates. May the 4th. Decades and centuries. The 1980s, the 20th century. May the 4th is International Star Wars Day. May the Force be with you. We could also say the 4th of May. The 20th century is actually the 1900s, so right now we're in the 21st century. These time phrases don't use articles. Days, months, seasons, and years. In Russia, winter starts in December and ends in February. However, we can also use the definite article with seasons. In the winter, the average temperature is lower than minus 50 degrees Celsius. We also don't use articles before next, last, plus day, week, etc. I saw David last Saturday, the one before this one. I'll see you next week, the one after this one. It's the last day of school. We use the definite article in this sentence because we're talking about the last or final one. So in summary, we use indefinite articles the first time we talk about a person or a thing. We use the definite article when we talk about something we mentioned earlier. We use indefinite articles when we say what a person or a thing is, when we say what a person does. We use the definite article for a job title that only one person can have. We use indefinite articles when we don't know which one something is, when something is not specific, or when it's one of many. We use the definite article when something is unique and there's only one of it, when the person or thing we're referring to is clear and obvious. We don't use articles when we're talking about people or things in general. We use definite articles for fixed phrases such as once a week, 60 kilometers an hour, a few, a couple. We use the definite article for at the top, on the right, in the south, in the east, at the beginning, at the end, in the center, in the middle, on the coast, on the border, in the world, the next, the other. We don't use articles with some nouns. At home, at work, at school, at university, at church, in bed, to bed, in hospital, in prison, on holiday, after prepositions such as at, in, on, to, and from. We use definite articles for time phrases such as parts of the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, dates, decades, and centuries. We don't use articles for time phrases such as parts of the day, at night, at lunchtime, days, months, seasons, years, and before, next or last, plus day, week, etc. Further uses of articles include using indefinite articles in exclamations with what, using the definite article with superlatives, and not using articles before meals. If you've enjoyed our video, please visit our website at umonzu.com for more videos, and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button, and like, comment, and share our videos. And make sure you tell your friends and colleagues about Umonzu.